Evening, everyone. How are you? Oh, sorry. Hold on. That was weird. My alarm went off for no reason. Evening, everyone. How are y'all doing tonight? Anyone here? Who's excited for Impact? Anyone? Anyone? Let's see. Uh, so, oh, so right now I'm just waiting for Impact to actually start. So went and saw the new Spider-Man movie today, which, by the way, if anyone is interested in, I highly recommend go and see. It was very, very good. Um, Good movie. Proving what I've said for months now, which is that people aren't tired of. We're not facing superhero fatigue. It's not that we don't like superheroes. It's that we're tired of bad superhero movies, and there's a big difference there. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, just waiting for Impact to get started. Um, I hope tonight's show is going to be good. I'm sure it will be. Um, Bully Ray is going to be on, and as we all know, anytime you got Bully Ray on, yeah, yeah, I am, Mick. It's gonna be a good show. Anytime you got Bully Ray on the show, it's a good show. That dude he is absolutely a legend in this business. I think that he could find a way to turn reading a carton of milk into a great heel promo. He's just it's so natural for him. He's There are some people like MJF, like Bully Ray, who are just so naturally gifted at making you hate them that you're like, I'm not worried about this at all. I'm not worried about what he's going to have to say. All right, here we go. Oh no, wait, that's New Japan stuff. Which make me and you got a bone to pick later. Don't you insult New Japan Pro Wrestling? That's the best, some of the best pro wrestling on this planet. So right now, Bully Ray running down what he did to Scott Demore, or they're showing you a recap of what they did to Scott Demore, and really good, good work. What do you mean, Mick? What do you mean? How are you watching Impact Wrestling Ultimate Insider? Um, I just watch it on Axis. I don't watch it on anything like unique. It's not like I watch it on, I have their premium fight channel or whatever. I just watch it on Access. Recap of last week, just the rivalry between Alex Shelley and Steve Macklin, which I love Alex Shelley, I do, but I think that I just don't know that Alex Shelley can beat Steve Macklin, and the other thing is I don't know that Alex Shelley can carry a world championship. Again, I love Alex Shelley. Think he's one of the best wrestlers Impact's ever had, but I just don't think he has the draw appeal of a world champion. Recapping how Trinity and Giselle Shaw have a rivalry going on right now. That at Under Siege, Trinity is going to challenge for the Impact Knockouts Championship. I don't think she's going to win it only because I think it's going to be a very short amount of time before she's back as Naomi or whatever. I think they'll I think WWE's going to want to figure out some way to bring her back into the company. Reminding you all that Giselle Shaw took out uh, Jordan Grace. Sorry, I had to think for a minute. I don't know if I agree with that, Mick. I like Stardom and I like New Japan. I don't know that I'd necessarily say one is better than the other. It depends on who you're talking about. If you're talking about, um, if you're talking about someone like high level New Japan, like so. First of all, I'm actually going to throw this up there, Steven. I agree with you because I think this might actually be the first time we've had a women's dog collar match. And I could be wrong. And if someone's wrong, feel free to correct me. Never want y'all to feel shy like, oh, he's the host, so we can't correct him. Correct me all you want. But I think this is actually the first women's dog collar match in any company, period. Is that correct? Now, Mick, you're gonna have to give me a reason New Japan sucks and Stardom is better. I'm sorry. I'm not saying you can't have your opinion, but you got to back it up with some sort of research. You can't just say, "Oh, they're better." Right now, we're getting entrances for um, Chris Bay and Ace Austin. I couldn't remember the partner's name for some reason. Um, so ABC, Austin and Bay are going to be taking on the subculture, which I think is Mark Andrews and somebody. I'm sorry. I know I should know this stuff, but for whatever reason, it's like it's Mark Andrews and some dude. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're going to be taking on the Good Hands, which is that group that was helping Bully Ray and now isn't for some reason. But yeah, so Stephen Chambers, you can feel welcome to correct me if you want or tell me or whatever. But is that right? Is Killer Kelly versus Masa Slamovich women's dog collar match? Is this the first ever women's dog collar match, or is there another one that I don't know about? Brian Myers running down and saying that at against all odds, ABC's time is up and the titles are going to come to the good hands. Oh wow! Hold on a second. Okay, so evidently she did. I didn't know that Shotzi. What company was that in, Steven? Um, sorry, I was looking up. I didn't even realize tomorrow is actually Impact's Against All Odds, and so that's kind of cool. That tomorrow is their one of their big pay per views. So I don't know. I'll have to talk with Savage later to know if we're going to talk about that tomorrow night or what the plan will be for that. I know tomorrow night is SmackDown, so be sure and join us for that. And I think Savage will be hosting, and I'll be co-hosting. So we hope to see y'all all there. What was Rise? Is an indie group, right? Because and I'm not that it discredits it by being an indie group, because indie groups are some of the hardest working people you'll ever see. I didn't know because um, I'm still learning about a lot of indie companies. Um, right now, we've got Chris Bay facing off against the Good Hands. Uh, so Bay, and I'd like to point this out. I think Bay just did a really nice back foot stomp on. I want to say his last name is Skyler. But regardless, my bigger point was going to be Chris Bay did a really nice foot stomp that very much so reminds me of Swerve Strickland's back foot stomp. Like I see a lot of um, I see a lot of Swerve Strickland in Bay, which I think is kind of cool. I think it's always nice to see when it's like, oh, these two can be compared to each other because so Bay just did a really nice backflip as well, avoiding one of his attacks and just right now we've got chops going on, which of course every time. That's another thing I love about the Bullet Club. They've incorporated that. We're also used to when we chop someone, woo, and I like that Bullet Club has incorporated that you chop and too sweet. I think that's a really good part of their thing. Their stable. Um, so they went for a suplex. Skyler counters. Um, let's flip over. Skyler or Hodge went for a running backflip, but he countered and was able to throw him out of the ring. I know that this is going to sound terrible because they're competing for the Impact World Championship, Tag Team Championship tomorrow night. But the biggest thing about the Good Hands that I remember is that Brian Myers is the manager, and the reason I remember that is I'm like, man, Brian Myers is in my opinion, one of the most underrated talents in any company. I think that cover by Hodge, 1, 2, kick out. I think I think Brian Myers is one of those guys that, like, if I'm building a company, I want Brian Myers as part of that company because is he the biggest guy in the world? No. Is he a world champion? Maybe not, but he is a workhorse. Brian Myers is a dude that you want working for you because you know he's going to consistently put on a good match. Hodge to the top rope. What's he going for? Up doesn't matter. Chris Bay got out of the way. He goes running for him. Foot up. Chris Bay catches his foot, rocks him with a right. That was a good looking right, too. That knee to the gut, one of his chops. What do y'all think, guys? In chat, you can let me know what you think. Would you agree that when you look at Chris Bay, there are moments where you see kind of a almost like a Swerve Strickland level athleticism? Doing for some sort of running splash. No, that was a running uppercut in the corner, followed by a kick to the back of the head for Hodge. Let's see, what's he going for? Ooh, a middle rope flatliner from Bay. That was a nice move. Steven, I did it to Mick, so I'm going to do it to you. I got to show fairness where fairness is due. I like New Japan a lot, but show your work. Why do you say that New Japan is better than Stardom? I'm not against it. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just want to know what is your reasoning for why New Japan is better than Stardom. I would personally agree with you, but still. Art of Finesse, he reverses it into a blue thunder bomb. Hodge, kick out at 2. That was a nice catch for a blue thunder bomb. I love the Blue Thunder Bomb, by the way. I think that is one of the most beautiful moves in all of sports entertainment. A lot of people would be like, no, it's not super flashy. And I'm like, it's not super flashy. But that's why I like it. It's flashy, but it's not so flashy that you're going to be like, oh man, did you see that move? It's like, okay, we've all seen a Blue Thunder Bomb. But if it's done correctly, it looks beautiful. Hodge going for another cover. 1, 2, kick out. Another cover. 1, 2, kick out. Getting frustrated here. Let's see what he's going for here. He's going for almost like a what is this? Going for a suplex counter, roll up, 1, 2, kick out. He reverses it. 1, 2, kick out. Whip for reverse, work, pump kick. So interestingly enough, the audio for Impact right now is actually being a little bit behind the visual, or the visual is a little the audio is almost coming before the visual thing. Like just now, he was like, "Oh, a beautiful pump kick," and then like 2 seconds later was the pump kick. So I just thought that was interesting. That could just be my connection, but it could be interesting. Um, Hodge going for something, and Chris Bay, Skyler decking Bay from behind, and now we've got a fight on our hands. In comes Ace Austin. They're beating the holy crap out of Ace Austin like he's yesterday's garbage. Good hands. Um, Roster cut from Brian Myers to Ace Austin. Chris Bay comes back in trying to get it, but just outnumbered. They're talking about the aggression from Myers, saying that Myers is fed up of people overlooking him and his faction. Gas canister. You know what? You know what, gas canister? I'm going to give you that one. Yeah. There's never a bad time for an LA Knight reference. Never. And they're kind of hinting that, I like that one, Steven. That's actually a good one. Allstate going to be calling Impact good hands. I like that. Are you in good hands? It goes to show Impact. No, 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 not these good hands. Don't be in those good hands. We've got backstage with Heath. He's talking about how Steve Macklin took out Rhino. He's been working up a game plan to deal with Steve Macklin. He wants to win the 8-4-1 match, and he's going to become Impact World Champion. He's mad at Champagne Scene because he attacked him from behind, and he's not going to take that. What do you guys think? You think that what's his name? Sorry. Anyone else think Heath is Impact World Champion? What do you guys think? Do y'all like the idea of Heath as Impact Champion, or y'all don't like that idea? Right now, it's just commercial, so who cares? Um, but anyone weigh in. What's your thought? Heath is world champion in Impact. Like it? Don't like it? What? Yes. Yes, Steven. Steven Chambers, absolutely. Yes. Speedball Mike Bailey. If Impact does not make that man a world champion at some point, they have no idea what they're doing anymore. That man is absolutely worthy of being a world champion. I'm shocked he hasn't been a world champion already. So while we're waiting for it to come back,
This is Speedball Mike Bailey. You're watching Wrestling with Savage, arguably the best wrestling podcast of all time.
there you go. According to Speedball Mike Bailey, arguably the best wrestling channel in the world. Wrestling with Savage. And evidently AEW must agree, because for those of you who don't know, AEW actually showed up on last night's show, and that was really cool. So it took us a minute to figure it out, but that was pretty cool that they showed up. So Mick Thomason says he would love to see Keith as heavyweight champ. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I'm not huge on this idea of like WWE guys coming into a new company and winning the world championship, but I think Keith would be okay because he's a very likable character. And I think they could build some really good feuds around him. There are times where honestly I still get surprised that WWE released Heath, but you know, they got to cut costs, even though they made a record profit when they were doing all those things. But whatever. So, chat. Other than myself, anyone else get in the AEW Fight Forever video game? Is anyone here a video gamer? And if so, are you getting AEW Fight Forever? Or is it just kind of one of those games where you're like, yeah, you'll watch if me or Savage streams it. But speaking of Savage,
Okay, yes, this is Wrestling with Savage, and I am taking over the show right now. And I am live. What's going on, everybody? I can't hear the guest of the show right now, but that's not the point. The point is that this is my show. I am now on, I believe, YouTube, Twitch. I'm live from Outlaw Wrestling right now. It's about to go live right now. We got some merch set up over here. Yeah, this is Wrestling with Savage, and we are live from Outlaw Wrestling tonight. All right, Travis, I hope you're doing a good job with Impact, but we're going to get back to Impact here in a second, just showing everybody the crowd, showing everybody what's going on here at Outlaw Wrestling. Crowbar is going to have a match tonight. Alpha's going to have a match tonight. I'm going to get back to it. You're going to see a lot of action live tonight. Make sure you go to the website, wrestlingwithsavage.com, and pick up the merch. We got 8x10s of Margaret Jannetty. Soon we're going to add some of Jim Ross, some exclusive merch. We got our sponsors over here, so shout out to Cri Text. Shout out to the Savage Kingdom. and Savage Kingdom Promotions. Shout out to Chop City Wrestling. And we'll be back just in a little bit, and we'll show you some wrestling live. But until then, let's try Mr. Stewart's thing.
So right now, I'm not I'm not entirely sure who this is. At first, I thought this was Nick Aldis, but I don't think it is. Give me a sec here. My audio is behind what's going on, so I. Oh, that's Dirty Dango. So Dirty Dango says he's going to win the title. He's going to sell it on eBay, and he's going to take the proceeds and give it to the. And he's going to give it to the. He's going to use it to go to Hawaii. Yeah, Champagne Sing. Yeah, sorry about that, Stephen Chambers, about you getting ahead. Somehow my audio got messed up, and I had to reboot the program I'm watching it on. Shira and Singh, they're reminding you about Shira and Singh assaulting Heath. So out comes Heath, and I don't know I've never understood what's going on with the whole Shira thing. You know, they have him for a bit, then they get rid of him. Then they have him for a bit, then they get rid of him. Then they have him for a bit, then they get rid of him. It's like they don't know what to do with Shira, and I look at Shira and I'm like, dude, this dude is a monster. How are y'all not having him do something more than just sporadic appearances? They're reminding you that Macklin attacked the surgically repaired left knee of Rhino. So, yeah. Okay, so the match is officially underway, and Heath looks to get going quickly, but no. And we've already got back and forth fisticuffs flying between both men, which, good. Atomic drop, and Heath's atomic drops look really good, in my opinion. Mick between who? You asked that. Who are my options? Do I get to choose from? I mean, obviously Savage is up there, but do I get to just choose from anyone? Because Anthony's really good when it comes to AEW stuff. Jay can be good. See, Steven, the only problem I see with that scenario is, didn't they already try that with the whole Eric Young and Rhino was part of the design, or Violent by Design, or whatever it was called back then, and it didn't really go anywhere. They went, oh, Heath is back, so Rhino's going to rejoin Heath and stand against the design. Like I don't know if they're going to be willing to turn Rhino heel, as weird as this is going to sound, I can actually almost see Heath as a heel working better than Rhino as a heel at this point. I don't really think that either one of them going heel is a good idea at this point in time. They're breaking down the 8-4-1 match, which to me is just confusing. You've got 8 men, so a 4-on-4 competition. Whichever team wins that, those 4 men are then broken down into a tag team. And then that tag team is broken down into a one-on-one match. It's a very, very confusing format. But let me ask y'all that. Does anyone else find the 8-4-1 match like a confusing idea? Like, not necessarily bad, just at times you're like, what? Oh, Heath hits the wake-up call, 1, 2, 3, and it is over. That match was, there was decent amount of hitting, punching, kicking action, but really it was just Heath hits the wake-up call, 1, 2, 3, and your winner, Heath. Now we've got the design. And he's warning that Sami Callihan has no idea. Sami Callihan has no idea what he's done. That Diener, see, Alan Angel says he never trusted. He never trusted Sami. But he got them to trust him, and then he turned on them. But they are going to make him pay for everything he's done. And he's going to pay in blood. Big Con promising that he is going to bleed like Sami is going to bleed like Rich Swann bled, and like Jake Chris bled. And now Diener is promising they're not going to take out Sami. They're going to take out Sami's family, and they're going to make him watch. And tomorrow night, they're going to take everything from Sami Callihan. And we go to commercial break. And since we're at a commercial break, I'm just going to be nice. I like to be nice during my commercial break. So, here you go.
Wrestling.
Oh my God.
Well, Sabbath. There goes Sabbath, and there you go, buddy. Wrestling with Sabbath.
I don't even want to think about what's going on with the commercials right now. So, I'll go back to my original question. Actually, you know what, Sami? I think Steven, I think you are right. I think there has never been a trios Monsters Ball match. There was a tag team Monsters Ball match when it was I want to say Decay versus Santana and Ortiz, the Latin American Exchange. Um, and I think Rosemary got involved in that, but I don't think it was technically a trios match. You're welcome, Mick. I just share the love. I originally thought Anthony had said he was going to be on tonight's show and show up, but I guess either stuff came up, or maybe he was talking about SmackDown and I misunderstood. But no. So I never got an answer from anyone. Anyone other than me getting the AEW Fight Forever video game, or y'all just kind of like, eh? I like it. Reminds me of No Mercy. Steven, I will say this. So you asked this. I'll put it up on the screen. I think Dynamite last night, solid B plus, pretty good. I like that they had Orange Cassidy cheat to defeat. Um, sorry, I like that they had Orange Cassidy to cheat to defeat Swerve Strickland. I think that opens the door for the possibility of a rematch, which I think is a good thing. Steven, I don't know if you were on last night or not. We were joking about the fact that that match set a world record because that match set a world record. Why? Because Jon Moxley made it to the end of a match and he wasn't bleeding all over the place. That's a world record. The Bullet Club match, it wasn't bad. I'm just as that'll be up to Savage. I really don't know. I think if nothing else, we'll probably discuss. I think we'll probably discuss it during it, if nothing else. But I'm not entirely certain if we'll be covering it or if it'll just be, hey, we'll discuss it during SmackDown. Yeah, Preston Vance was bleeding really good last night, which again, I'm not against any bleeding. I think Moxley does it too much. I think it's lost a lot of pardon the pun, but a lot of impact because of that. So going back a second, hold on. So yes, you're looking forward to the AEW video game. Who are you going to play first? Because I'm torn between Adam Cole or Christian Cage. But so who do you think you'll play first, Steven? We're getting a intro video now for Joe Hendry, who honestly, I love Joe Hendry. I think Joe Hendry is incredibly good at what he does, very creative. It's Steven Chambers. You got good taste, man. You got good taste. Joe Hendry reminding us this is not reality television. This is Impact Wrestling. The two magic words, we believe. Who's Trevor? Now we're getting an entrance for Sheldon Jean. Sheldon Jean. I love it. He looks like a wimpy powerhouse Hobbs to me. I don't know why. I guess it's just that hairstyle. I'm just like, damn. I'm like, how I was looking at him like, man, Hobbs has lost a lot of weight. Hey, Gianna, how are you tonight? Oh, so evidently Sheldon Jean debuted against Nick Aldis, which is kind of cool, but I don't cover NWA because I don't know how. If I could, I would. Good. I'm glad you're good, Gianna. So Sheldon Jean with a nice pump kick. Matthew Raywalt playing the heel. Bless you, Kenny King. I love it. Raywalt's such a good heel. I don't know who Tantalizing Tony is. I've never even heard of this. So King interfered. Uh, Gene hit a pump kick. Now he's in charge of Hendry. And another commercial break. Yeah. I would put the world title on Hendry. I would easily put the world title on Joe Hendry. Easily. Gianna, I think you were on here last night. What did you think of AEW last night? Scale of well, not scale. You have to give it a rating, A to F. What would you give in AEW last night? B. That's a valid score. I'd give it a B. I'd give it a B plus, but still, yeah, B. The Bullet Club was very disappointing. I was really hoping they were going to debut someone new for Bullet Club level last night, but I kind of had a feeling as soon as they announced, oh, by the way, they're going to team with Samoa Joe to take on FTR and CM Punk. I was like, nope, probably not. What is Dynamite's card next week? I haven't looked at AEW's card next week. I know uh, Collision looks like it's probably going to be a pretty good show. My favorite TNA, what? Sorry, I don't understand. My favorite TNA pay per view, my favorite TNA champion, favorite what? Mick? I can't find next week's card. What is what's on next week's card, Steven? Another commercial We're still on commercial break, guys. Sorry. Really? They're doing MJF versus Cole for the title already? I'm I'm surprised. I thought they would build that up a little more. Um, hmm, I'm shocked, honestly. We were talking about last night, and Savage said, "Do you think this takes place at Forbidden Door?" And I said, "Yeah, I think there's a possibility we get Cole versus MJF for Forbidden Door." So I'm a little surprised it's happening next week on Dynamite, but should be a good match. Because despite being a heel, and I know he'll do things to make it look like he's trying to hurt Cole, but MJF is actually a very safe worker, so he'll make sure he doesn't do anything that would put Cole in any kind of danger. And I think that's the sign of a professional. Okay, we're back now. Sheldon Jean in control of Joe Hendry. Uh, Going for a suplex. Ooh, no suplex. So he turns it into a guillotine choke. Well done. Crowd chanting for Joe. He powers out and suplex from Joe to Gene. Joe to Gene. That sounds like a bad country song. Crowd. Joe, trying to psych him up. He counters, hits him with a chop, uppercut, chop, uppercut. Ooh, good combo. Goes for an Irish whip, counters. Joe Hendry hits him with a, I think that was a running cutter. It was nice looking, whatever it was. Going for a scoop slam, I think. No, fall away slam. Hip up from Hendry. Boom, boom, boom. Going for something. What we got? No, he gets out of it because Kenny King is up on the apron, jaw jacking. Gene landing the kicks to Hendry. Oh, pop up power bomb from Hendry. Standing ovation, cover 1, 2, 3. Favorite TNA pay per view. Give me a second. I got to look something up. So, one of my favorite. Oh, let's see. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so it took me a minute. I had to remember when it came out exactly. Um, yeah. Dongo coming out. I'll answer your question in just a second, Mick. Dongo saying he hates pro wrestling. And what he hates even more than pro wrestling is pro wrestling fans. He says Joe isn't going to trick him to come down there. They don't pay him enough to work on his day off. They have a rematch tomorrow at Against All Odds. They're gonna. He's got. Yay, we're getting another Joe Hendry song. Any Joe Hendry song is good. Let's see. Everybody used to love his song. He's gonna figure out where he got distracted. He looks like a star, but wears a $2 shirt. He went from beating Chris Jericho to dressing up with Tyler every week. He was trying to get laid on Total Divas. Nice. Got jailed for impersonating the police. They're calling Dango Divas Reject. Get laid on Divas. That was actually pretty good. So Mick, back to your question. What was my favorite TNA pay-per-view? I'm going to have to go with one of the all-time classics, Unbreakable 2005, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels triple threat for the Impact for the TNA X Division Championship. That was the match that for me turned me into a TNA fan. Santino Marella rushing down. Santino Marella rushing down. Sean Jean making jokes at his expense. Joe Hendry behind Sean Jean. Up, here comes Santino's Cobra. Cobra! Hit Sean Jean with the Cobra. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mick. Thank you. Yeah, I've been a fan of Impact for a long time for two reasons. One, great matches like the one I just mentioned, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels, which was a phenomenal match, one of the all-time greatest matches in pro wrestling history. If you have not watched it, go back and watch it. Amazing. And I remember thinking this. I always felt that Raven was wasted in WWE. So when he debuted in TNA, I was so worried. I was like, please tell me they're not going to waste Raven here as well. And I was really glad when Impact Wrestling didn't waste Raven. I think Raven is one of the smartest minds in the business. Although he did make that one fatal mistake of believing in CM Punk, but we all make our mistakes. For those of you who don't know, a list of nice. That must have been cool, Steven. That must have been really cool. Hold on a second. Sorry, I got to turn down the volume on my TV because I love how they do and broadcast stuff. Don't you just love when you're watching a pro wrestling show and all of a sudden you get a commercial for issues with ED and it's like, when did this turn into late night Skinamax? Did I miss something here? Like that was a severe left turn. Um, Mick, I said the pay per view was Unbreakable 2005. AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe. So those were the days, weren't they, Steven? Pay per view, $10. Now you got to take out a second mortgage to afford pay per views. Jeez, it's crazy. I went grocery shopping earlier today. $5 for the stuff I need to make uh, chicken capellini, which if you don't know, that's chicken with in a lemon sauce with capers. Good for you because you skillet cook it. You don't fry it or anything, so good for you and very tastes very good. $5 for the chicken, $3 for the capers, another $3 for the pasta. So total, you're looking at about $15 to $20 for this. Meanwhile, you can buy a box of brownies, $2. $2. Great. Yes, exactly, Stephen. Stephen, I'm not even an eggs person. I don't really care for eggs except for a fried egg. And even I saw that. I was like, $5 for a carton of eggs? That is ridiculous. This this is insane. I guess the theory is they're just going to quit feeding and we'll all die off and then they won't have to worry about high prices, right? It's insane. What about you, Mick and Steven? Favorite TNA pay per view? Go. I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but go for it. Oh. Sorry. Got to adjust my TV stand, guys. Oh, we're back here. Oh, Lord. Okay, it's a Giselle Shaw promo. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm just gonna leave the TV on mute for a bit. I don't care for Giselle Shaw. Honestly, she's boring to me. She says the spotlight is hers, but quite frankly, anyone got a good book they can recommend for any time Giselle Shaw decides to be on television? I just finished Storm of the Century from Stephen King, so I got to find another good book to read while she's speaking. There is. There's a lot of really good pay per views. Ooh, okay, Stephen, Mick, whoever. I'll give you another question for you. In your opinion, who was the best TNA World Heavyweight Champion? Out come the Death Dolls. It's Jessica and Courtney Rush. God, I couldn't remember what Rosemary's called now. They change it every week. Yeah, Mick, Steve, anyone in chat, just buzz in here if you want. Is anyone else tired of all the spooky wookie crap in pro wrestling? Like, just, Oh Lord! Speaking of spooky wookie crap, the coven or whatever they're called. This I don't like this kind of stuff. I don't like Isle of Dawn and Isle of Fire. I don't like this idea of just casually throwing in, hey, they're out in the middle of the woods performing a satanic ritual, but you should be okay with that. It's like, but I'm not okay with that. I don't like them going satanic ritual in the middle. And to me, that was always the difference between, oh, good choice. Good choice, Stephen. Good choice between um, Styles and Jeff Jarrett. Those are both good choices. If I said, let me ask you this, Stephen. If I expanded it to top three, do you think Bobby Roode comes into that equation, or would you say still probably not? Because I honestly think that Bobby Roode was a really good world heavyweight champion. But what do you think? Do you think he was good, or? Yeah, I know, Steven. It's just it's run its course, right? It was good for a while, um, but it's run its course. Like when Bray Wyatt first came back into WWE. Oh, absolutely. God, that's not even is that even up for debate? That is absolutely. That was I've never been a Kim Shamrock fan. I get that he is a legitimate threat, but I'm just like, but he's so stale in the ring. So stale. Um yeah, so back to what I was saying, the spooky crap. Um when Bray Wyatt first came back to WWE after being gone for so long, and he was like, hey, I'm introducing myself, and this is the Bray you don't know much. This is Wyndham Rotunda talking to you. This is not Bray Wyatt. I was more into that than I was any of the spooky crap. I was like, I'm tired of the spooky character crap. I want to see Bray Wyatt be Bray Wyatt. I want to see Wyndham Rotunda be Wyndham Rotunda. I'm tired. Don't get me wrong, the Fiend was a great gimmick, but even it ran its course. Oh yeah, Raven. So so Raven. I'm always going to be Raven fan. Raven will be dead 50 years from now, and you'll still hear me going, "It's Raven," because just Raven to me was what I wish more of the spooky wookie crap would be like mysterious, chaotic, made you kind of stop and think, but not this weird like I'm going to throw myself under the bus because some people absolutely love this group, but I'm going to ask you, Steven, Mick, whoever you want. Whoever wants to weigh in, weigh in. I enjoy getting y'all's opinion. Do you find House of Black annoying, or can you stomach them? Because personally, I find it annoying. I find it annoying this, lights go out and they come to the ring wearing bone mask and horns and all this stuff. And I'm just like, why? Why do we have all this weird, spooky wookie crap in wrestling? Like if you're gonna do all this spooky wookie crap, do the whole world a favor and just be Lucha Underground. Like what? Why? Oh, yeah. So sorry, I lost track because we got off on the whole, anti-spooky wookie crap. Sorry. So right now it's Jessica and I think Taylor Wilde. Yeah, Taylor Wilde in there. Taylor Wilde tags in her partner who okay, does this tell y'all how bad this is? How bad this coven stuff is? Taylor Wilde tags in her partner whose name is who cares? Like I just I can't get behind this crap. I just can't. I try really hard, but just spooky wookie crap is just it's too frustrating to me. I actually like kind of seeing Rosemary without all of her face paint and all that. She's actually pretty good. Okay, here's the thing. Yes, I agree with you. They didn't do Funhouse and puppets stuff, which why again are you doing puppets on a freaking wrestling show? But um, let me pitch you an idea, Steven, and tell me what you think of this. Do you think House of Black could have worked better if they had built it up as like they were a secret organization in pro wrestling that's existed since the dawn of time? And I know this is going to sound weird, but almost have them be like a pro wrestling equivalency of like the Brotherhood from Assassin's Creed, because I think that would have been cool, right? Had they gone, hey, this is this secret organization called the House of Black that's existed since the beginning of pro wrestling, and they've been kind of like manipulating things behind the scenes. I think that would have been cool, like a wrestling Illuminati. But I will agree with you. I do think House of Black is a lot better than anything Bray did. The only form of Bray I've liked was the cult leader one, and even then that started getting kind of stale. The only reason I really kind of liked it was, I'll be honest with you, I'm a huge Luke Harper, Brody Lee, whatever you want to call him. That man was he was so good, and he understood the psychology of wrestling matches better than a lot of people did, in my opinion. So Taylor's partner tags in Taylor now up against Courtney Rush. Um, uh, yeah, and what bothers me even more than just the factions is the factions that don't really do anything. Oh, Courtney Rush making Taylor Wilde tap out, but the referee had her back turned, so she can't see anything. So, yay, that age old finish. Steven, I'm giving you a booking opportunity here. You get to pick. So, you can get rid of any two factions in AEW. Which two do you want to axe? Also, the Coven wins, which again, okay, that was a match. That was a good time killer for 10, 15 minutes. Let me get a chance to talk to you guys and see what y'all think about stuff. They're now talking about the 841 match and who all's going to be in it, which is I believe it's I believe it's Eddie Edwards, Yuya Umura, Alex Shelley. No, sorry, they're showing you the match of how Alex Shelley became number one contender. I don't know why I thought that was the 841 match. This is the downside and the double edged sword of play by play with you guys. Which, don't get me wrong, I absolutely want to do it. I'd much rather do it, but because I don't want to get copyright slammed, I can't have the volume up super loud. And because of that, sometimes it gets lost in translation what match we're talking about. Spanish Announce Project? What a Spanish Announce Project? I haven't even heard of them. That's I shouldn't be laughing, but Spanish Announce Project sounds like the bootleg thing you got of Rosetta Stone. What did you get? I got Rosetta Stone. Well, I'm trying to learn Spanish, so I got Spanish Announce Project. Reading Alex Shelley talking about how his many accolades and impact, which he's had a lot, how he's been a multi-time tag champion, he's been a multi-time X Division champion, but he hasn't. He's talking about some of the great matches he's had: Switchblade Jay White, Jonathan Gresham, Chris Sabin, Johnny Gargano, Kazuchika Okada. Which, yes, actually, that was a really good match. If you've ever never seen it, go back and watch Johnny Gargano versus Alex Shelley. That match was actually really good. He thinks he can beat Steve Macklin and take the title from him. I personally don't agree. I think that let me rephrase that. I think he could, but I don't think Impact is going to take the title off of Steve Macklin for two reasons. Two. Number one, other than Bully Ray, he's the biggest heel this company's got going right now. Number two, Josh Alexander, um, sorry, hold on a second. Josh Alexander is going to come back at some point, and how great would it be if he comes back and the feud is against Steve Macklin? And sorry, I'm reading this Stephen Chambers, and every part of me is laughing because what did you say it is? Luther, Serpentico, and Angelico. I'm surprised any of them are still in the company. I forgot they were there. Yes, exactly. This is a problem I have with AEW. Stop throwing together random people you don't know what to do with them and just going, guess what? Now you're all our tag team. Bully Ray reminding Steve Macklin that even if he does get done with Alex Shelley, he is going to face Bully Ray at some point, and I'm glad. I'm glad they're not doing this whole, oh, Bully Ray's being nice and helping this guy for the sake of helping him. It's like, no, I'm helping you because I want something. And that to me is one of the best heel things you can do is it's I'll help you destroy this entire locker, but you gotta help me. So Stephen Chambers, let me ask you another question, Stephen. Two factions in AEW you would book, promote, whatever you want to say, more than what they are right now? Or do you would have them be major players going forward? What two would you do? Getting a commercial for Peloton, which reminds me that I'm overweight and that I don't like that and that I need to fix that. It's Omaha Steak commercial, which I mean, I'm like, I, I'm weird when it comes to like eating out. Good for you, Steven. That's good. That's good. I'm all for self improvement. I personally can't do keto because wait, is keto the one where you can or cannot have meat? Because I can't do no meat. I like bacon and chicken and steak too much. Talking about some sort of medicine right now. Okay, so which one is keto? What does that involve? Savage is going to come back. I'll come on here and watch this and be like, "What in the world are y'all doing? This is a wrestling podcast, and y'all are talking about keto." And I'll be like, "It's a commercial. What else are we going to talk about?" We're talking about it because we're trying to pile drive obesity and make it tap out to our good eating habits. There you go. That's how it's wrestling. What is keto? That's gonna dry out. That's driving me crazy now. Keto. Low amount of carbohydrates, replacing them with fat to help your body burn fat for energy. What are the 3 types of keto? What was a keto diet? I might try that. I might give that a shot. I don't have to try that. That sounds pretty good. Um, right now, my big thing that's making me try and lose weight is, and I know this is, if you watch Saturday Night Live, you'll get the reference. But right now, I'm trying a revolutionary diet. I'm eating less and moving more. Um, which is hard at times. Like today, I did not eat well at all, but today was also my cheat day, so I was like, okay, whatever. But they're showing us earlier before the impact, Masha Slam. Is that Masha Slamovich? Oh no, that's Killer Kelly. Um, oh no, that is Lamasha Slamovich. It's hard because they both have red hair, so I have trouble sometimes telling which one's which. Who's coming out now? Oh, it's Trey Miguel, which I have mixed feelings on Trey Miguel. Part of me likes him, part of me goes, eh. But what do you think, Steven? Trey Miguel, thumbs up, thumbs down. Oh, and Mick, if you're still here, you're allowed to, you're welcome to comment too. Oh yeah, that is a good one. Man, I don't like nose rings. I'm sorry, I just don't. When Bray came back with his nose ring that looked like a bull thing, I was like, so you want somebody to grab you and lead you around by those things, right? That's what you want, is somebody to treat you like a bull, because otherwise, why do you have a nose ring that looks like that? But yeah, so Steven, Mike, Mick, sorry, Mick. Steven, Mike, Mick, I am so sorry, Mick. Maybe I'll play your video again to apologize at some point. Um, but so Steven, Mick, thumbs up, thumbs down on Trey Miguel. What you think? Right now we're getting Trey Miguel versus Boo Pish the Bush the Gender. I feel so bad when I butcher these names, but I just have no way of pronouncing these things. It sounds like I'm trying to name a dietary food. Yeah, I agree, Steven. I'm going to throw that up there because I agree. I think he's a good performer, but I think this spray paint gimmick to me is just, it's stupid. I've never understood people who did that. Never. I think it's silly because it's like I don't know anyone who actually spray paints. Do you? Like I legitimately do not know a single person who does spray paint stuff. Other than Savage when he's trying to keep himself from spending $400 on a new title that looks absolutely horrendous. I that one. Well, crud, my streaming service seems to be having issues, so give me a sec. I'm going to try and reboot it. Oh, good point. I didn't think of that. NWO was good with the spray paint. That one was good because the spray paint made it feel like it was like a personal attack against WCW, and I you're right. That one was good. So thank you, Stephen, for catching me in a lie and making me go. You know what? You're right. You're right. NWO is great with the spray paint thing. In fact, I think without the spray paint thing, we don't think of NWO the same way that we do right now. And guys, I'll pull up another thing and try and just get y'all the like text results, but for whatever reason, my streaming services, it's like it's not loading access at all. It refuses to do it. I'm even trying. Let's see. I left and now I'm going to go back into it. Let's see if that'll fix it. Access TV, play now. Nope. I don't know what to tell y'all. Yeah, for some reason the streaming service is just it's not working. So there it goes. Okay, finally it goes back up. And now it's buffering again. So I don't know what's going on. Kind of hard to do a live play-by-play when it can't do it. Hey, Steven, do you want to, let's see, how does that work? Is there a way to, is there a way to bring you into this? Invite guest, copy. Paste. Okay. Oops. Wait, I'm not sure if I was supposed to do that or not. Crud. Thank you, Stephen Chambers. So he keeps throwing Gupter. Man, Stephen, I feel like I should invite you into this chat because I don't know what's going on. I don't know why my streaming service just suddenly decided to stop working. But I'm going to close out of the streaming service completely and try going back into it, see if that does anything. If it doesn't, then I guess I'm going to have to rely on Stephen Chambers to keep y'all updated, and we'll just have to turn this into a talk thing. Not that y'all would really mind that, I'm sure, because, y'all all have good opinions and no reason not to enjoy talking with people who enjoy the same stuff. It's fun. I enjoy it. Ooh, Steven, faceplant slam by Gupter. Was it a good looking faceplant slam or was it kind of sloppy? Oh, here we go. Got it back. Nope. Comes back and then it's like, nope, we're gonna buffer again, and it's like, okay, thanks. I don't know why it's doing this, but whatever. Sometimes you just have to go, okay. Weirdest thing. I don't get it. I don't. Makes zero sense. Be a good time for Savage to come in, though, wouldn't it, guys? Good time for Savage to come in and show us more of the battlefield. So, Stephen, was Gupter's? Oh, did I get it? Nope. Still buffering. Was the faceplant slam by Gupter any good, or was it kind of sloppy looking? And since you're doing this, what are your thoughts on Gupter? You think he's got any kind of future in this business, or is he just kind of like, okay, he'll be here for another week or two, and then he's gone? I'm so sorry, guys. I have no idea what's going on with this streaming service. Why it's not? Oh, maybe. Trey is now saying he's a generational talent. He's defended and retained in Ultimate X. He's retained in a Monsters Ball. He even defended against Chris Sabin. This time there will be no ifs, no ands. There will be no yeah buts. Trey Miguel headed in to defend his championship. Johnny Swinger, one of the more entertaining people in Impact. Honestly, his character is it's such a joke, and that's why I love it. He's almost like a parody of a parody. What do you think, Steven? You like Johnny Swinger or not really? He's the he just called Mick Jackson a kid. I love it. He's Swing's funny. He says maybe it's the Mizarks that he hasn't won a match. Yeah, he was better in ECW, but he's good at Impact, right? He's entertaining. He just it's crooked referees paid off by Gene Simmons and Bob Seger. I love it. And just I love that Swinger is one of those characters who's like that it works because it's like this. It's just he's so out of touch with everything, and I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think what's good about the Swinger character is he recognizes he's not the same thing as he was in ECW, and he's gone. How do I keep this character entertaining? I make him a joke. Like I think it's good work. I think Swinger's doing good work right now. Another Walgreens commercial reminding you that medicine prices are so high they charge you an arm and a leg for medicine for that arm. So, Stephen, here's a fun question: who is your favorite character? Who's your favorite character in pro wrestling who could be a serious character but had no problem making fun of himself at the same time. Like I've always enjoyed, I always enjoyed the Kurt Angle with Edge stuff. You know, the whole I loved when Kurt Angle came back and Edge had the whole, writing on the back of the signs, and then at the very end, Kurt Angle was like, "Damn it, I fell for it again." I thought that was great stuff. I love that Kurt Angle is able to have a laugh, but yet at the same time, he's able to go out there and have an absolutely phenomenal match. Stephen Chambers, I'll also ask you this: who do you think, along with the joke character thing, who do you think has benefited the least from going from another company to WWE? Because I'll be honest with you here. I thought Bobby Roode was a phenomenal heel champion in TNA. Thought it was great when he went to NXT. Great champion there. He gets to the main roster, and I swear to you, I swear to you, like a week into his main roster run, he must have been thinking, like, why did I come to the main roster? What was the point? They're just gonna they're not doing anything of value with me. They're making me a joke. But what do you think, Steven? You think there was somebody who got worse treatment than uh, Bobby Roode going from Impact to WWE, or do you think would you agree that they absolutely wasted Bobby Roode? Yeah, but on the okay, so I'm going to throw this up there. It is sad that he had to have that neck fusion surgery, yes, but on the good news side, at least he said the surgery went well, and he hopes to be back. He hopes before the end of this year, though he said if not, it could be the beginning of next. But man, if I'm in charge of WWE, which I'm not, but if I was, one of the few things I would do when Rude comes back, I would make sure that I treat him like the star he is. I would be like, man, you put your body on the line, you let it break down for us. We're going to give you that world title run you were always owed. His commercials right now is why I'm not really being like, oh, this is good. It's like, what can you really comment on? But Steven, would you agree when he comes back? Do you think they should push Rude? Maybe not else. I'll say maybe not immediately world champion, but do you think they should work their way up to it, or do you think the damage has been done and nobody can buy it anymore? They're having a in the they're talking about this big match coming up at Slammiversary between Trinity and Deonna Purrazzo, which I really hope Deonna retains. Um, I'm this is I'm running the show until Savage says otherwise. So I am going to give my opinions here. So Deonna Purrazzo, thumbs up. Trinity, eh, I could take her or leave her. What do you guys think? What's your thoughts or opinions on Trinity and Deonna? Let's put it this way. Yeah, yeah, I'll agree with you. I still think that Kazarian being released by WWE was a huge mistake on their part, but So Steven and anyone else, give me your opinion. Deonna Purrazzo versus Trinity. Who do you want to see win? Deonna or Trinity? I want to see Deonna win. They're asking if this is going to be an opportunity for uh, Deanna Perrazzo to scout out Trinity and Deanna. I respect saying absolutely this is her chance to scout out Trinity, and Trinity's like, you can trust me. Good, Steven. So we're on the same page. Agreed. Deanna. If Deanna doesn't retain, it's I think it's silly to me, and the reason why being even if she stays through Slammiversary, we all know Naomi's going back to Trinity is going back to WWE at some point. There's no doubt in my mind. None. Against all odds, they're going to run down the card, I think, here, maybe. So, Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans versus Trinity and Deanna Perrazzo is tomorrow at Against All Odds. We've got Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich. Joe Hendry versus Dirty Dongo. I like to say it like that, Dirty Dongo. The Design versus OVE. Miguel versus Chris Sabin. Trey Miguel versus Chris Sabin, sorry. Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian. That is going to be a good match. ABC versus the Good Hands. I have a feeling ABC retains that, but the 841, which will be Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Nick Aldis versus Moose, Mike Bailey, Rich Swann, and PCO. Yeah, I agree. You have to earn your title slot, not just they give it to you. Macklin versus Shelley. Okay, so let's go through those matches. And they remind us that after the show tonight, which I will also cover this unless Savage comes on and says, okay, you're done. I want to talk about my stuff. I will also cover New Japan if anyone wants to watch that. So, well, let's go through each of these matches, and you and Chap can give me your opinions. We'll go one match at a time for Against All Odds. So, let's start with the main event. Okay, there you go. That was the first question I was going to ask: was Macklin or it's Shelley? I agree with you. I think Macklin. Who do you think wins the 841 match? My money is on. Crap, there's no way for my streaming service to go back. Give me a second. Install odds 2023. Let's just go through this match. Okay, so first of all, let's go through the match. So, Design versus OVE. Who you going with, Steven? OVE or the Design? I'm personally leaning OVE, but what do you think? Okay, OVE. I'll agree. Joe Hendry versus Dirty Dongo. I personally feel like Dirty Dongo might take the title. I feel like it could be shenanigans and he wins the title by that. But what you think? What you putting your money on, Hendry or Dongo? Henry retains. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, Trey Miguel versus Chris Sabin, X Division champion. I'm gonna argue that Chris Sabin. I think it's time to take that title off of Trey Miguel. Although Trey Miguel beating a legend like Chris Sabin could help. I mean, I don't know, but what y'all think? What you got? Who you got? Sabin or Miguel? Took me a minute. I can see that. Um, Trinity Trinity and Deanna Perrazzo versus Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans. What's your picking, Steve? Steven, sorry. Commercials is the other reason why I'm doing this. And if anybody else wants to give their opinion and weigh in, you're welcome to. But main reason I'm doing it this way is it's commercials, so it's like, why not? Yeah, I agree. I agree, Deanna. I agree, Deanna and Trinity. There's no way they're going to have Trinity lose this match if she's supposed to be a world for the whatever. Okay, Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian. I'd like to see Frankie Kazarian win, but I have a feeling it's going to be Eddie Edwards. What you think? Whatever it is, it should be a great match. Honestly, I'm not a huge Eddie Edwards fan. I think he's decent, but I don't think he's like the most wonderful thing ever. But him and Frankie Kazarian, I think, could steal the show tomorrow. I mean, that could be the match that we're all talking about. Going, that was a good match. What you got, Steven? Eddie or Frankie? I'd book it. I'd book that. I think that could be good. Um, Tracy actually still is in pretty good shape. I could see her doing another match. Okay, let's see. Next up, ABC. So Austin, uh, Ace Austin and Chris Bay versus um, the Good Hands, which is Jason Hotch and John Schuyler with Brian Myers. My money is going to be on ABC. I just don't think they're going to take the titles off them this soon, especially not to a team like the Good Hands, who, don't get me wrong, is good, but they're just not. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Ace and Kristen retain. I think Ace and Chris retain. I don't think that's a question. Oh, okay. Here we go. Killer Kelly versus Masha Slamovich. I am going to go with Killer Kelly because while Masha Slamovich is the bigger opponent, maybe even more aggressive, I think Killer Kelly is the more cerebral and can easily trick her into doing something that'll help her get the victory. They're breaking down the 8-4-1 match, which still to me is just like this. It's just a chaotic idea, not necessarily a bad idea, just chaotic. Yeah, I think Masha not beating Jordan Grace was not the right decision. I think she should have been the one to beat Jordan Grace. But yeah, whatever. Okay, so next up we've got the 8-4-1 match, which is Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Keith, and Nick Aldis versus Mike Bailey, Moose, PCO, and Rich Swan. It begins as an 8-man tag team match. The winners advance to a four-way match, and the winners of the four-way match receives the title shot. So let's just, instead of doing this whole long craziness, let's just go with this. Who do you see as the overall winner? Yeah, I agree. I think there's no reason. So Bully Ray's team you think is going to win, but so let's go with that. So that team is Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Nick Aldis. So of those four, who do you see being the one that wins the whole thing overall and is going to be the next to challenge for the world title? I'd like to see it be Nick Aldis. I really like Nick Aldis, but oh, you think it'll be Nick Aldis too? Okay, cool. I would like to see Macklin versus Nick Aldis. I think that would be a really interesting match. I think that could have a lot of potential to it. Mhm. So it's also hard for me. It's funny whenever I call Nick Aldis because I'm like, but he's Magnus. Right now we've got Nick Aldis in the ring with Jonathan Gresham, and wow, Nick Aldis going for Cloverleaf on Rich Swan. So Nick Aldis is in the ring right now. It's Nick Aldis and Jonathan Gresham versus Moose and Rich Swan. And Macklin, Bully Ray, and Aldis. Ooh, that would be a good match. I would like that match. I'd watch that. Um, chop from Moose to Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis selling that chop really well. Like oh man, a big man just chopped me. Of course, we all know who has. I'll ask it this way, but we all know the answer. Who has the best chop in the business right now? We all know the answer, but let's just go ahead and see what survey says. Ooh, Nick Aldis with the Lou Thez press on Moose. Damn straight. Gunther has the best chop in the pro wrestling business right now. And I might say ever. I might actually say he even has a better chop than Ric Flair. I know that sounds weird because Ric Flair is the guy who chopped, woo, and that's what we remember it for. Man, Gunther hits that chop, and I swear every time he hits that chop, a small part of me is like, that dude's having trouble breathing tonight. Yeah. I think you're right. I think he's on his way out of Impact. So let me ask you this though, Steven and Mick, anyone who wants to answer. So Moose is on his way out of Impact. Where do you think he lands? AEW or WWE? My screen did a zoom in thing, and I don't know why. I don't know why it did that. God, how do I zoom out? I don't know what happened there, guys. Oh, well, I just learned how to go full screen, so that's one thing. Okay, there we go. Now it's back to normal. So what do y'all think? Where does Moose end up? AEW or WWE? Oh, since it's a commercial, sorry. Final match. Let's ask you guys. Final match. Steve Macklin or no wait, Steve Macklin versus Alex Shelley. We all already said that it's Macklin. Macklin retains. There's no question of that. if Impact was going to pull the whole, if they were going to pull the trigger on Alex Shelley as a champion, I think they would have done it back against Josh Alexander. But Steven, Mick, go ahead. I'll ask again, unless rephrase my question so we know again. In this scenario, Moose does not sign another contract extension with Impact. He's leaving. Do you see him going to AEW or WWE? Yeah, yeah. I could see it going either way. I could see it being that he just signs another contract extension with Impact, or I can see it being that he goes, you know what? Now that Vince isn't in charge as much and Triple H is more so, maybe I'm going to go over to WWE now. But I could see him sign another contract extension with Impact. See it going either way. But seriously, I'm just going to ask this: does anyone in here or watching around the world, the millions and millions of watchers we have? I'm kidding. We have like 3 or 4. Does anyone see Alex Shelley beating Steve Macklin, or can we all just agree Macklin retains? Moose and Ring of Honor. That's an interesting prospect. I wouldn't mind seeing a Moose versus Samoa Joe match. That could be good. And we are back. Jonathan Gresham has taken over control from the team of Moose and Rich Swann. Gresham goes to the corner, tags in Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis now working on Moose. Arm breaker, 2 arm breakers in a row. Getting Jonathan Gresham back in. And Jonathan Gresham is a great wrestler in my opinion. I think people don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't see. I think if they, like I said, I think if they were going to make Shelley a champion, I think they would have done it against Josh Alexander. I don't see them doing it against Steve Macklin. I just don't. Um, I think Jonathan Gresham is a wrestler that doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes. I think he's really really good. Like when people talk about like, oh, Brian Danielson, I'm like, why are we mentioning Brian Danielson and not Jonathan Gresham or Zack Sabre Jr.? Like both of them are equally as good as Danielson. It's why actually I'm a little miffed at yeah, yeah, yeah. Um Gresham with a right to with a right to Rich Swann, but Rich Swann counters, takes over. Um, Moose dropping Jonathan Gresham. Moose forcibly tagged himself into the match. Throws Gresham into the corner, and man, he made that look painful. Cheap shot to Nick Aldis. Oh, so what I was saying a minute ago, I was actually kind of miffed when they announced the Forbidden Door 2. And they said Brian Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. Don't get me wrong. I think it could be a great match. I think it could be match of the night. No, I'm not. Why did I lie and say that? Match of the night is Kenny Omega versus match of the night is Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. No question. Really? I'm shocked. I'm shocked that Grace has a I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm a little surprised that Grace has one. Um, suplex from Moose to Jonathan Gresham. Moose in control and kind of being a little bit cocky about it. Going for another suplex. Following standing suplex, and it was a good one. Um, I could see that. I would book it, but the big thing is this. I said it last night during the AEW show. I don't know if you were there, Steven, or Mick, or whoever wants to comment. But in my opinion, Forbidden Door 2, Ospreay has to take the title off of Omega. Would you all agree? I think that if they do not have Ospreay take the title off of Omega, that's it. Why would there be a third match if Omega beats him twice? That just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, you were on last night. Okay, but Stephen Chambers, would you agree that Ospreay needs to win this match in order for the feud to continue? The National Treasure, Nick Aldis, in control. He goes running in. Moose counters, kicks him, but Aldis lifts up and power slams Moose. There's that diving elbow of his that's beautiful. Nick Aldis has the best elbow drop in the business today. Moose goes for an inside cradle. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Gresham, they both tag out now. Gresham versus Swan. Gresham goes for a backslide 2 on Rich Swan. Now he goes for a roll up where he's got it trapped into a bridging. Ooh, that was nice. He went for a Connor, followed it up immediately by a bridging, and that was beautiful. Swan going for his cutter, although I would call that looked like a lethal injection to me. No, Mick Thomason, I don't do it Instagram. This is the only kind of social media I do. Period. Moose tried to tag himself in, did not go well. Swan didn't appreciate it. Yeah, Chambers, Stephen Chambers, I agree with you. I think Kota Ibushi is I think it's a good pick. I think. Oh, Moose got the win. Rich Swan not happy with the way that went down, and now he's showing. Oh, Rich Swan just or Moose just drops Gresham, and now he drops Rich Swan. Now he drops Nick Aldis. Although Aldis was fighting back, but he. Oh, here comes Heath beating up on Moose. Nick Aldis dumps Moose to the outside with a clothesline. And now Heath is motioning that they should. Oh, Nick Aldis punching Heath, and now the two of them going back and forth with punches. Nick Aldis throws Heath out of the ring, and Heath and Nick Aldis continue brawling on the outside. Rich Swann back in the ring, going for clapping his thing, going for that top rope suicida. And there's Bully Ray. Grabs him by the hair and slams him down. Bully Ray, in my opinion, one of the best heels right now. I mean, he's not the best. The best is a tie for me between MJF and oh, here comes PCO. PCO and Bully Ray staring each other down. Bully punches PCO. PCO punches Bully. Bully punches PCO. PCO punches Bully. Back and forth we go. And PCO gets the best of Bully Ray. Bully Ray in retreat. Yeah, Mick Thomason. I should be back tomorrow for SmackDown. Should be back for SmackDown tomorrow. PCO stands tall. PCO standing tall in the middle of the ring, and that's it. That's the show. So now we're into New Japan. I'll be back in just a minute. I got to make a phone call real quick, and I'll be back in just a minute, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize that my mic was still muted. I didn't realize my mic was still muted. Sorry, guys. I was saying that was family. They're going to call back in probably about 10, 15 minutes, and I'll have to step away from the thing again, probably for about 5-10 minutes. Um, so for those of y'all who don't know, I talked about this last night, but a family member, they're so my cousin's husband, his father passed away on Sunday, and tonight was the visitation. So, um, you know, sad widow maker, as they call it. Just, Friday night they said they thought he was getting better. Sunday night he passed away. It's why you got to make sure to take care of yourself. It's important. It's important you take care of yourself. Um, we are not now. We are having Tomohiro Ishii versus El Desperado. Great match. Like that is a match that I would watch. That I would watch the two of them just go at it. Um, and Tomohiro Ishii tags in the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling, also known as Kazuchika Okada. Why I say that is it's like John Cena. I mean, you know exactly what you're getting with the match. You may not necessarily think that Okada uh, or Cena's particularly great match stuff. But say what you want, they consistently deliver. Consistently. Nobody ever walks. You may not like Cena or Okada. I don't care for Okada myself. But you never walk away from one of their matches going, well, that was a complete waste of time. You go, yeah, I knew what I was getting, but it was enjoyable. Right now, we've got Okada and Hiroshi Tanahashi working together in order to take out El Desperado. El Desperado with a big chap to Hiroshi Tanahashi. Tanahashi trying to act like it doesn't affect him, but not doing a very good job. Tanahashi actually, he's okay. There's no question Tanahashi will go down as one of the greats of New Japan Pro Wrestling. He wouldn't have made it in any other company. Any other company, they would have been like, you're okay, kid, but you're not gonna make it. Which I mean, of course, makes sense. It's hard to get that language barrier. Oh, Desperado with a massive spine buster on Tomohiro Ishii, which is hard to do. That is not an easy thing to do. Naoto Tetsuya Naito is now cleaning house on everyone. And he went right after Okada, and Okada cut him off with that. But then Naito hits him with a beautiful drop kick. And we go to commercial break. And we're getting commercials for New Japan Pro Wrestling ring gear. It's kind of nice that we can actually we can now get like those shirts that are sold for New Japan Pro Wrestling over here. I may actually end up having to buy myself a Will Ospreay T-shirt because Will Ospreay is the goat of high flyers. Like I will. You can fight me on this if you want, Mick. You can fight me if you want, Mick. But Will Ospreay is the greatest high flyer living today, and he might be the greatest high flyer of all time. Great. What more can you say? I don't feel like I need to spend time tooting the horn of Will Ospreay. He's great. The end. Um, Commercials. Commercials. I think they're talking about medicine or something right now, which is who knows. So I never heard Nick Thompson. You never said why you think Stardom is better than New Japan. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. But what's your reasoning? There's got to be a reason you say Stardom is better than New Japan. So I got to know what's your reasoning. Yeah, I don't really. At the moment, it's just commercials. Commercials. Uh, I don't know how late I'll be going. I could be another 30, 40 minutes, or I could be ending it soon. Kind of just depends. Had a pretty long day. I've been up since about 7 o'clock this morning, and it's now almost about 9 o'clock tonight. So, just long day. Um, Feeling a lot of different emotions. Wanted to be here though because I enjoy doing this. We're getting, let's see, Katsuyori Shibata. Is that right? I think that's Katsuyori Shibata. It might not be though. Uh, but whoever it is, he just hit Okada with a leaping clothesline, and that was pretty good. Um, Throws Okada into the corner. Okada moves out of the way though. Goes rushing in. He gets his foot up. He goes wrong. Oh, flapjacked him. I always love the flapjack. There's just something so entertaining about it. Watching another dude go flying high in the air and then wham right down on his stomach. Let's see, Master Watto charges in, does his little hip thingy. Gets caught and is now locked into a submission hold, but he counters it, turns it around, and goes for an ankle lock. Then his opponent counters it, goes for a bridging suplex. Oh, he's going for the figure four, countered into a roll up. 1, 2, kick out. Oh, I'll be right back in just a minute, guys. Okay, I'm back, guys. Um, Okada on the outside, really selling like he might have tweaked his leg or something, and maybe he did, but it looks like a sell to me. In the ring, we have a guy going for a suplex on Master Wato. Master Wato. Master Wato ducks it, and now he hits him with an enziguri. Goes for a he's going for the three amigos. I don't know what they call that in Japan because I don't know what the word three three amigos is. But he goes for a submission lock, and Shoto Umino, Narita, El Desperado, and Mike Bailey are your winners by submission. Yeah. They're talking about the rivalry going on right now between Shota Umino and Okada. And Mike Bailey is he's like, yeah, we won, guys, and they're all kind of like, hey, you're not New Japan, but okay. Um, and for those of you who don't know, Mike Bailey was actually not allowed in Japan for a little while, but now he is, and it was just some cultural difference things. And Mike Bailey's never been really like the kind of guy to, shy away or be, disrespectful about it and be like, oh, this is, but just some cultural stuff. There's a lot of barriers between that, between America and Japan. Um, Shota Umino talking about it, saying that Okada's time has passed and that Okada is no longer the great legend he once was. He's now just a shell of himself. That he's going to beat him one, two, three. Guys, I got to be honest with y'all. I think I may call it tonight. I'm pretty exhausted. It's been a long day for me. But I should be back on here tomorrow night with Savage, and we will be doing a live play of SmackDown, as far as I know. And hope to see y'all then. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and just spend time with your family. Make sure you you take the opportunities you can because you never know how many you get. So y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Night.